Hey, Cardinals fans, welcome to the Redbird Rundown. I am Jonathan, joined in a little different fashion this week by Matt and Andy. And in this episode, we'll discuss the key moments from the games this last week, and there were a few of them, and to suggest a little bit of what to look for next week. But before we get into the rundown, Andy, I almost heard, your house got smoked by some lightning. What happened?
So this episode, pull back the curtains for the listener. Matt is out of town, but he's with us, and he's
What up,
recording.
Nashville?
He's
in the hotel room. I'm looking at my daughters. They're reading right now. My wife is scrolling her phone. So this is just as real as it gets from us.
Right. So I was going to host, and I have the computer that's plugged in directly into the internet rather than on Wi-Fi. And Jonathan and I are getting a test call in, and it's storming currently in Southern Illinois. And we are kind of talking about that, and we're like, okay, we'll see you later when Matt is able to record. And as we're hanging up, Jonathan, what do you say?
Well, I sure hope your house didn't get hit by lightning.
And I hit end to the record and get off the Zoom call, and a sound. It's like God knew and was like, okay, thank you. Yeah. And Jonathan spoke it into existence, and it ripped through, about busted my eardrums. Computer turns off completely.
You had your headphones on, so you heard the lightning strike.
Oh my gosh! I felt it. My wife
felt it. I'm sorry. What?
I felt it hit the house. Like,
oh,
I have one of those old school antenna up by my, like, where my chimney is for my fireplace.
So you can get channel 3 and see.
Exactly. I'm 90% sure that's what it hit.
Okay.
And so it completely fried my modem. So this is now being hosted by AT&T hotspot.
Sponsor the pod, AT&T.
Yeah. Thank you, AT&T. Crazy thing. It blew up the modem in the other room. Like, my wife was there and just watched it explode. So my kitchen smells like burnt plastic now. So, it was quite the exciting way to start a pod for sure.
Wow.
Well, I sure hope we all don't hit the lottery after this. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Yeah.
God, if that happened too,
yeah.
Well, all right. Man. So AT&T is really carrying the load here for us.
Because Matt, that's what you're on, right? So truly 2 of the 3, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what they say: lightning does not strike in the same place twice. So we should be good from here on out.
No, it's not true. Okay, Jonathan and I just talked about that too.
Yeah.
My house has been hit twice now. Okay. The tree right in front of my office.
During this pod, if it happens during the pod, we're just all going to get lottery tickets. That's all there is to it.
There we go. I will, at least.
That's exactly right. Well, do you know where lightning was striking last week?
Ivan Herrera.
Yeah. Ooh, that would have been better. God, that would have been better. All right. So let's just recap last week. The last time we spoke to each other about the Cardinals, we had gone past opening day. We were in the first game of the Angels series. So our record from that last week, from the last time we spoke, is 4-2. And just for kicks and giggles, we have gone from, in the power rankings on ESPN, if you care about this, right, we've gone from number 25 to number 19. So we're moving up in the world.
There we go.
Our last series with the Angels, it was a 1-2 series. We won 1 game, lost 2 games. I think everybody would agree that the series was exciting, right? We had close games throughout. First 2 games were extra innings, could have gone either way, right? Easily could have won those first 2 games. We kept fighting back. Our offense just won't quit. It just keeps freaking ticking, right?
It does.
Doesn't matter what happens in the pitching inning, the defensive inning, we just come back and we keep clawing back. Starters were fairly solid. Bullpen was pretty good. Both of those, there was a few bad pitches, right? Just like a few mistakes that cost us in games 1 and 2.
Yep.
And then we were really pretty good with runners in scoring position throughout those 3 games, but a couple of maybe timely hits in those extra innings, the Angels did, right? That's why they won the first 2. And then the third game happens, and Ivan the Great shows up and just mashes 3 home runs. And
I think I like that. Ivan the Terrible, the Great and Terrible.
Ivan the Terrible, yeah.
Something.
So we smoke them, finally blow it out of the water in the last game. We blow it open. Ivan has his great game. So we're 1-2. How do we feel about our recap of the Angels, folks?
Yeah, so Ivan had something that Yachty never did. 3-homer game. Most RBIs from a catcher since I forget the year, but it was like 1920. It was pre that. What was the 1930s Cardinals called?
Gas House Gang.
The Gas House Gang. I can't believe I forgot that. Thank you. Yeah, it was prior to that. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty special what he did the other day against the Angels, that last game against the Angels. So it was definitely fun. It's very fun. It's very exciting, right? Whenever somebody's just absolutely ripping the leather right off the ball, and it's very exciting to just have that expectation, especially me as the casual Cardinals fan coming back into it because of this podcast and reconnecting with my brothers and watching baseball more than I have for years. To watch the Cardinals coming in this season, it's pretty exciting. Even if there's a couple of losses thrown in there, they're at least competitive.
I'll encapsulate my feelings of the Angels series with this. I was watching one of those 2 extra inning games. I don't remember which one. And I was on Blue Sky, had it open and just kind of, doing what the internet does, just kind of live skeeting my thoughts. And we fell behind, like we tied it up. I was like, wow, this is really awesome. Then we fell behind by 3 runs in extra innings. And I said, I posted on Blue Sky, hello, 2024 Cardinals. Not excited at all to have you back. And then we scored 3. Now we ended up losing the game, but we scored 3 to tie it in the bottom of the 10th. And I was like, welcome back, 2025 Cardinals. So I would say, and I think we should say too, we are recording this after the wild game 1 in Fenway. So the Cardinals are currently 4-3, ton of runs scored in that game. I think the vibes maybe have just taken the slightest of hits. But I think we might be onto something here, boys, that this could very well be something different as far as what we have seen from the Cardinals in the last couple of years.
Without a doubt. And that is a perfect segue into some likes, right? Our first like on the offensive side. Matt, what's different? Brownie's offensive approach. Brownie. We said Yvonne the Great. Brownie the Great, or what were we calling him?
I believe that Brownie is a Buddhist guru. He's out here just saying, home runs are not hit; they are thrown.
Yeah,
there's a time to slug, a time for contact, and let me tell you, this Buddhist guru is raising a kennel of rabid attack dogs. Our offense just does not stop. We keep coming.
Yes, I know. Andy, what has been your take as you've seen this new approach? What are you seeing?
I mean, for all of the fans, the casual fans, this is fun to watch. Like,
yes,
I'm going to take my kids for the first time this year to see a Cardinals baseball game, a baseball game ever. It's not their first pro sports, but I am now happy. I mean, obviously 162 games is a long season, and there's going to be peaks and valleys of this offense. So can we expect this offense to produce like this for 162 games? No, of course not. However, I'm excited for them to go see some long ball action. I'm excited them to lay down a bunt and watch some guys steal. Like it's fun to watch. Like this is fun to watch. Like people just get up there and you have people not striking out, because I think that is the quintessential most boring thing in baseball whenever it's quote unquote that pitcher duel. And unfortunately for the Cardinals, that hasn't really happened yet, as in our pitching isn't good enough to duel with someone else, because the offense is absolutely destroying people and taking walks and making it exciting.
Let me inject 2 numbers really quick. And this is such a small sample size thing, right? We are 7 games into the season. But just as far as the numbers go, 2024, the team struck out 21.6% of the time. That was 12th in MLB. So we weren't terrible last year. This year, we're 3rd in MLB, 18.5% strikeout rate. Walk rate last year, 7.8%, 22nd in baseball. This year, 11.5%, 5th in baseball. And this is where I think the key is. I think whatever Brownie has been, the guru has been out there preaching, the guys have picked up on it, because there are sometimes where they are first pitch swinging aggressively on fastballs that are grooved down the middle and they're getting hits. They're laying off stuff they should lay off. This is just like, I mean, everybody in the team basically is batting 400 besides Willie and Wynn. So to Andy's point, there's no way this can continue at this level. But I think something has changed with this approach. We're swinging at the pitches we should be swinging at. We're taking the pitches we should be taking. And guys, all these guys are elite pro athletes. That's the key to this whole thing. If we can continue this approach, this Brownie guru approach, I really think this is a different thing that we are watching truly.
Yeah, and I can't I cannot highlight just from the past couple years of watching Cardinals baseball. I can't highlight this enough. This feels like the polar opposite of what last year
Yes.
was and the year before.
Yes.
Like I don't even mean that in a cliche. Like it really does feel the opposite. How many times last year did we watch people watch a fastball groove down the middle and then swing at some ridiculous pitch in the dirt? Right. I couldn't tell you how many times I would see that, and it's just so refreshing. To your guys' point, to see something a little bit different. And there's a couple of instances that I want to bring up specifically, and it's that I know Nolan Gorman, right? He's coming into the year. We're not really sure what he's going to be, and it just was announced today that he's hurt. He has a hamstring pull. He'll be out. He'll be on the injured list for a little while. But just him specifically coming in, and he looks competent. Matt, I mean, that's what I feel. Matt, have you felt the same way about Gorman, like looking solid?
I definitely think so. I heard some reporting from other podcasts, shout out to Katie Wu and Bernie Miklas, that Gorman had gone in the offseason and done some of his own independent work, which is pretty common for hitters now. And that him like connecting with Brownie's taught him some different stuff to look at. And spring training was kind of Nolan working through some of that because Gorman looked horrendous during spring training. And so he was kind of like redoing his approach. And the other thing I think might be helping is I also heard some reporting that Ali is working on lineups a week in advance. So he's already working out in advance. And what he's doing is he's mixing and matching based on guys' pitching arsenal. And so I think as a player, if you're Gorman and you're not playing every day, you can prep yourself with the knowledge of when you are going to play and what kind of pitcher you're going to be hitting against. And I just have to think that helps so much prep guys and get them ready to perform at their highest level.
Well, that's true too, because if you're Gorman and you're not an everyday player, and you're like, I know I'm going to play in 2 days, and we're playing against this opponent, and it's going to be this pitcher. You can study film on him or whatever you need to do to get yourself ready to rock.
I think
and
that
roll.
for Gorman, I think that for Burley, I think that for Baker, I think that for a lot of these guys that are going to be going in and out. This is so smart by Ollie if he keeps this up to plan ahead and give these guys a chance to look at what's coming up.
Yeah. And Andy, I don't know, how much of did you get to watch of the Red Sox game today? Did you get to see any of it today, Andy?
Was unfortunately zero. I was I was able to do a couple of breaks and look on the game cast and watch.
No worries. Baker's another guy I wanted to highlight because he's come in and I mean he's typically he's going to be like the lefty platoon guy. There's a left-handed pitcher, he's going to start. But the guy, it's so interesting that Ollie has him batting third. I mean, this guy's like the perpetual AAA guy. He's 28. He's older, but the confidence they have in him and batting him third against these lefties. And then today he comes and he pinch hits late at Fenway, kind of a hostile environment against Aroldis Chapman of all people, who that's not a comfortable at bat. The guy's wind up, the motion, how fast he throws, comes in there, takes a mature at bat, walks a 7 or 8 pitch walk. I mean, it was just like, who is this guy? He comes up and these guys never look like the moment is too big for them. Gorman is one of them where he'd come in and he would struggle at times. He'd look lost. Baker, I don't expect anything from him. I expect him to, swing for the fences or strike out. But him working that walk today was really like, wow. I just feel like this approach overall, these guys, they are buying into it. And we don't look silly up there very often.
We look prepped. We looked aggressive. We look ready to go. And not all these little seeing eye singles are going to keep seeing their way through. Some of them are going to get hit right at guys, and we're going to start making outs. That's just part of baseball, right? But if this approach continues, I think the result is going to be different the whole year. I mean, guys, we average 7 runs a game on that homestand. I would shudder to think, trying to go back for the last couple of years and think if there was any homestand at all that we, average 7 runs a game. So we're going to score 7 runs a game the whole year. No, but this team is already doing stuff that we haven't seen for years.
Yeah. Let me highlight somebody, because one of my big takeaways is from our text thread is I just went back and kind of looked at how many times we said Noot to each other.
Wow.
Okay. A lot. And Matt is, looking like literally the Schwami, the Newt Schwami.
Newt Island feels real good over here, boys.
Yeah,
we are living in luxury on Newt Island.
He and Kyle Tucker, I think I got him right, from the Cubs, right? He and Kyle Tucker have the most hits in MLB right now at 12. Okay, and I believe that the Cubs at this point have played one more game than we have.
They played 2. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and so Newt, just every time he gets, like, every time that I say who's coming up and Newt is there, he's gonna get on base somehow.
You feel good about it.
He's gonna
You
walk.
feel great.
He's gonna get a hit. He just is not an out. I mean, he has 4 strikeouts, so I mean he does strike out. But yeah, I mean he's it's just incredible how many times we have said Newt to each other, and he's like just like an automatic. Well, Newt's getting on base. All right, who's gonna follow up Newt?
It is amazing too, because when he comes up and you start to expect these things, it's like you're starting to really feel like you have something here.
Exactly.
Right? There's very few guys I can think of in the history of our team and just us watching it that we're like, okay, something's going to happen. I don't need to mention those names because I think we can come up with them in our mind's eye here. But
yeah,
he's legitimate, right? And he's going to continue to give you these long at bats. Can you imagine how annoying that is for the opposing pitcher?
Oh my. Yeah, it's got to be terrible. And not only that, when he hits the ball, oftentimes he's hitting the ball hard. So this is not some kind of cheap, he is perfect in the leadoff spot. And I hope, regardless of what anybody else does the whole year, I really just think leave Newt right up there because he's patient, but he hits the ball hard. He can do damage. It's so perfect at the top.
It is.
And the bottom of the lineup working so effectively. Like that, again, I think I said it last pod. But that's one of my favorite things about the lineup is that when you see 7, 8, 9 coming up, most of the time it's like, okay, all right, well, next inning, no, they're playing small ball, they're getting on, and then Newt is doing something every single time, it feels like, and that is a wonderful feeling whenever you're getting that kind of production from the bottom of the order leading into Newt.
Yeah, when the bottom feeds the top, you got something cooking here. I mean, there's this no joke. Whenever Matt gave that statistic about scoring 7 runs, and then we've had 10 or more hits in all of our games, including the one today. That has not happened many times in the history of the Cardinals. So it's like, I know we're talking a lot about the offense, but it just cannot be understated. It's so impressive how much we have changed, and it's so refreshing to see that the team continues to fight and hit no matter what's going to happen. So this has just been such an awesome change this year.
This was a quick Newt stat that really cracked me up. Newt, in his entire career, he's been worth 8.6 WAR. 0.6 of it is from this year and like 30 at bats. Like this man is basically like a walking Greek god at the plate, and you just can't get him out. Like he is on base all the time doing stuff.
Yeah, that is amazing. It really is. And I hope this continues. I hope this trend continues. And I'm starting to feel like, do we think it's real? Like, do we think that this is a real thing from them? I know this is now, we had, we up to this point it's 7 games, right? 6, and we just watched the 7th today, and they just hit today. Now
they scored 9 runs today.
Yeah, scored 9 runs. So it's like, do you guys think this is real or can be sustained?
Do I think we are going to be the greatest offense in the history of Major League Baseball? No.
No. Right. No.
Do I think that I am already comfortable saying this is different than anything that we have watched the last couple of years? I absolutely 100% think that. And it's because of the process.
Yeah.
The results are going to come if you put the process in right in baseball. And I'm telling you, I know there will be times of slump and guys will get off their process. And I understand that. But this process looks so much different than anything we have done. This is just like, it's just like you're watching these games and you're like, oh, wow, this is not the Cardinals. What are we doing? Like, I've texted that to you guys like 4 or 5 times.
Yes,
like, who is this team? What are we doing? It's totally different.
Yep. I do. To close out our offensive section here, I thought it was so funny. So after Ivan hit his 3rd home run, the guy's probably riding so high, right? He comes down into the dugout. This is on the broadcast. He was putting all of his catching gear back on. And at bat later, the Ron Washington, the Angels manager, comes out and they make a pitching change. Well, I guess Herrera didn't catch that, and he jogged out of the dugout like it was time for him to go catch again. And it was so funny. They showed the replay that Descalso's like yelling at him to stop, and Ali just like looks at him like wide-eyed, turns around, and like puts his head on Arenado's chest. It was just like one of those like from a movie, like just a slapstick comedy. Like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because he seems like the nicest guy, and I couldn't be happier that he's finding some success here. But let's talk about some defense. Let's talk about some likes on defense. We talked about the hands team a little bit last week. Pajes coming in, Siani coming in. Siani, of course, proving Ali right and making him look like a master tactician here with some of these amazing plays. What have you guys thought about the hands team and just overall the defense so far this year?
Andy, you go.
Yeah. I mean, it is always good to have people on the bench who you can trust because, like the Red Sox games today, right? The
Mhm.
Cardinals in the ninth weren't going to have a shot in the world really to even get close to coming back, and unless what happened today, 2 errors, right? The Red Sox, isn't that right?
That's right.
That illustrates to me how important when we say a hands team, we're talking about good defensive players, and there are moments in a game where you have to have that, or things like this, you let a team who's down by several runs have a glimmer of hope. And these are professional athletes. They're going to find and capitalize on those mistakes. So this last game against the Red Sox, I think, perfectly illustrates why we have to have some amazing center field athletics out there with Siani. It just is. He's getting to stuff. Like even if he muffed it, it goes back to our defensive metric thing that errors aren't great. Siani's getting the things that like the average center fielder is not getting to. Period. And so even if he muffs it, it's not really an error. It's like that's almost superhuman of what he just did.
And what's crazy too, just to piggyback off that, Matt, before I let you run in here on this, is Siani has seen like 9 at bats on defense and has already made one insane play.
Yes.
Like if you think about the time he's been out there like 15 minutes and he's already made an insane play.
Yes, that's exactly right. Well, so to me, the whole thing looks like another strength of this team.
Yeah.
I think that Vic looks much better in center field. He made a great play today in Boston. He's made some wide ranging plays where he's up against the wall. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think Walker looks more comfortable in right. It's less of like the deer in the headlights, like, oh my gosh, the ball just got hit at me, and he's going to play the ball. I think Newt looks athletic and left. That left side of the infield was just scooping up ball after ball. And Libby's start, Libby was getting a lot of ground balls to the left side, and that is like one of the best third basemen of all time, Nolan Arenado, and probably the guy that should have been the Gold Glove at shortstop last year. Please pound the ball into the ground, right? And then Donnie's at second, and I think Willie's looked fine at first. We have some Herrera things to talk about on defense, but other than that, like guys, this is the strength of this team. The hands team is good. I'm going to shout out Bernie Miklas one more time because he proposed this idea, which I love. He's thinking of Pages as the catcher closer, like the Helsley of catchers.
Boy, that's beautiful.
He comes in at the end, and to Bernie's, what Bernie was saying is sometimes that's not going to go well, right? Even Helsley is going to blow some saves sometimes. And so early in this season, you've seen Pages come up because he's been a defensive replacement. The other team catches us, and Pages is batting when you would really rather have Herrera. But I think we can all be mature enough fans to understand and realize that that's not, it's still better to put in the defense, even if it burns you occasionally, because of like these plays Siani is making in center field. They're crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
Do you guys want to take a guess of how many errors the Cardinals have through 7 games?
I don't know.
There was one. There was
maybe?
one today. I'm going to say 3. Yeah.
There was not one today, and according to the official box score.
Interesting. Okay. Well, how many is it?
1. There's been 1 error through 7 games.
Huh.
It was in game 2 of the Twins opening series.
Interesting. The one I was alluding to today was Donnie threw it over Contreras' head on a double play turn. He like threw it into the dugout-ish area.
If you get 1 out on the double play, you can't get an error on trying to get the second out. They only assume 1 out on those.
Well, I learned something today, children. I didn't know that
either.
So there you go. Sling it over there. It's not going to be an error. All right, cool. No, defense. Yep, I'm with you guys. Let's talk about some pitching here. So I think first turn through now, right? A little over that through the starting rotation. I think it's safe to say everybody was pretty solid. Okay. The first turn of the rotation out of spring training is always a little sketchy. Everybody's still knocking that rust off. Do they have pitch limits? That's why we have this 6-man rotation with Steven Matz sitting in the bullpen, who's typically a starting pitcher, just in case somebody gets in trouble. Well, you saw him used today, and you saw him used in the second game against the Angels, or it might have been the Twins.
For the rain delay.
Yeah, the rain delay. It was the Twins. You're right. So I think everybody's really looked pretty solid, but there's a couple names I want to bring out specifically. The first one is Miles Mikolas, who has caught all kinds of flack on this on this pod from various reasons. But he was actually pretty solid. Matt, tell us how you feel about Mikolas' pitching performance, not his mustache.
Let me tell you exactly what Miles Michaelis is. Miles Michaelis is an unreliable car that when you start it up, you have to hit the steering wheel 3 times and lean back in your seat. There's like little tricks you learn to start it up. But when the car starts, you're like, okay, nobody move. Let's just drive. Right. And so if Miles Michaelis is going to give you a start where he is effective, you don't think about it. You don't think about the velocity. You don't think about any of the stats. You're just like, nope, nope, nope. Let's get some good innings here. And that's occasionally going to happen because the guy has been a good pitcher in the past, and that's still in there somewhere. So again, if Miles is going to go 5 innings and give you 2 runs, you just win as many of those games as you possibly can before the car breaks down.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you go out there and you slap Michaelis and you say, she ain't much, but she still runs.
Yeah.
Get us to point A to point B, boy.
That's right.
Take the cartridge and blow on it and slap it on the side.
Oh, yeah.
That's even better. Yeah.
Michaelis, the NES machine. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with Michaelis. I agree with that. It was, of course, we lost his start, but he was solid.
We did.
Of course.
Yeah.
Andy. Okay. Liberatore. This is the first time he has started. We're going to give him the long leash to start. He started last year, but he was pulled up and down. He got thrown to the bullpen several times. He's had varying roles over the years.
So he is the Cardinals' starting pitching version of, let's say, a Nolan Gorman, where we want to see what he can actually do.
Spot on. That's exactly
or Jordan
right.
Walker.
So his first turn through. Any outstanding thoughts about Liberatore's first start through? I have a couple, but I'm curious if you have any.
Well, that remind me real quick that he opened up against he opened up against the Angels, right?
Yeah,
the Angels. Yep.
And did he give up a bomb to Trout? Was it that game? I'm just trying.
No, that was Sonny. He gave up some runs early in his start, though.
Yeah,
Liberatore did.
Yeah. I mean, it's always tough at the beginning of the year to just come out and perform. So I'm just happy that, Libby is able, the Cardinals are able to have, well, we have Quinn Matthews. We have some guys that are sitting there. So it's, it's okay if some of these guys mess up. I'm glad the Cardinals are giving some breathing room. It's tough as a pitcher. I mean, look what we did to Rick Ankiel, right? Threw him in there and he feels the wheels fell off. So feels good that, we're being a little bit more cautious with our guys here.
I'm also just happy about Liberatore was resilient. We have seen him over the years. Matt, you can attest to this just from the longevity here, is that whenever he faces adversity, you kind of see him give up. I mean, I don't want to say that, but like the wheels really fall off. He gave up 3 runs very early on and stretched it out into a 5-inning outing that was really ultimately pretty solid. I think Liberatore has a really good chance of being good. I just think we need to give him the opportunity to do it. And I'm happy that he is one of these guys that's going to get an opportunity to do that. Matt, anything to add on Liberatore's start?
No, I'm just glad that we're able to give him the runway. He did induce a lot of ground balls to that left side of the infield, which if that is a recipe, especially against right-handers, that he can slam them inside with that curveball and get pound ground balls into the dirt. That's a good recipe for him because Wynn and Arenado are going to get him a lot of outs. The bigger point I'm going to make about the starters is if this team is really going to actually compete, we've already highlighted, I feel pretty confident saying the defense is going to be good. We have good defensive players and they have looked good so far. I think this offense is something different and I'm pretty excited about it. If we're going to truly compete, it's going to come down to the starters. Is Fedde going to get blown up like he did in Boston? What's going to happen with Michaelis? Is Libby going to give us this is where the team is either going to fall apart or we're going to compete in the NL Central because these starters can carry us through. And I got to say, after the first turn through the rotation, I'm a little bit nervous about it. There's still not a lot of strikeout punch. And so we're just going to be, the BABIP is going to win us some games and lose us some games. And that really feels like we're still stuck in the mid 80s in the wins.
Yeah. Glass cannon, so to speak.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. And you could definitely feel the no strikeout punch in the bullpen today. I know we're talking about the starters, but just pitching in general, when you have starters who don't have swing and miss, and then the bullpen comes in and there's not a lot of swing and miss unless your name's Ryan Helsley, right? It's difficult, right? Because you're going to get dink and doinked and you're going to lose.
Yep.
So, okay, the word perfect is not used very often in baseball because it's hard to be perfect. It's this is a sport of failure. But do you know what is perfect all the time? Is Brendan Donovan's helmet placement
Oh,
for it to always fall off. This man looks like he's straight out of an Old Spice commercial, or something. Buddy's got the locks flowing constantly. Matt, talk to me about Donnie's perfect
it
helmet
is
placement.
just it falls off every time he's rounding the bases. He's got that headband on, and he just looks like a Civil War era general on a cavalry charge to me. And so every time I'm just like, ride, General, ride.
Oh
Like
my
I will
gosh.
ride with Donnie any and every day.
Yep.
He might be a little too big for his britches in the 3-hole, but buddy, when he gets going around the bases and those blonde locks start flowing, I'm in. I'm sold. I'm in.
Listen, in Boston today, they tried they threw like a pickoff move, the pitcher to first base, and he dove back into first base. Helmet flew over, hit Stubby in the leg. He gets up, stands on the base, flicks his hair behind him, puts the lid back on. I was like, man, this guy I feel like he's doing it on purpose.
All the angels in heaven just had their breath taken away. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, Donnie, again, we got another one for Donnie here. Talking about perfect hair. What about a perfect bat?
Yeah.
All right, we talked
about
talked about Ivan hitting those 3 home runs. Well, he used Donnie's bat, according to Katie Wu from The Athletic, that he said his bat was a little too heavy, and he wanted to get around on balls quicker. And he said, "Hey, Donnie, can I borrow one of your bats?" And lo and behold, that thing gave him 3 home runs and another one today. So, kind of zoom out a little bit here. There's been this story lately. The Yankees have been using these things called torpedo bats. Matt, you had said, a couple of their players had. You said you'd done a little research on this. I'm curious, what did you find out?
Well, I can break it down real quick for everybody. Everybody can pretty much imagine a baseball bat in their head. It gets bigger as it goes towards the end of the barrel.
Right.
All these torpedo bats do is they take a little bit of that mass off the very end of the bat and they slide it back down the barrel, kind of towards that trademark. And so again, it kind of looks like a torpedo. And we all know
like
if you hit a ball
kind of ish, like the bottom of the bowling pin.
Yeah. If you hit the ball off the very end of the bat anyway, you're really that's not a good contact on the ball. So you're just taking some of that mass and you're just sliding it down. All I feel like this is doing is just giving a bigger launch pad for better contact with these balls. And the thing that kind of struck me is like, how did it take this long for somebody to start messing with the bat? We've messed with everything in the game of baseball. And so listen, get all these guys a torpedo bat. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I was reading about the Yankees and the fact that I think it's like Volpe and somebody else who are, I think it's just 2 of them. They're rocking the torpedo bat. Mm-hmm. And it was very deep into personal swing mechanics and where they're hitting the ball because like, are they getting jammed? Like it was very, like not all of them are using it. Not like it was more like who can use it the best. It's like the mechanics or the stats are finally catching up to. It's not for the entire team. It's for these 4 players on your team might benefit from one of these bats.
Right. So it's really like it's custom bat making. And for those that maybe don't know, this is a very commonplace thing in the major leagues that these players go to whatever brand that they'd like, and they typically can have custom bats made for them that are lighter, longer, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like a cricket bat, like this torpedo bat. It's just a little bit different, just proportioned differently. But I was thinking, I'm curious what you guys think about this. Talking about torpedo bats, I saw some people saying, is this fair? I am all for giving the hitter, any advantage possible.
Absolutely. 100%.
So if we gotta have them out there swinging just a 2x4, like I'm cool with that. Is that what you guys think?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just glad that, the sabermetrics, whatever you want to call it, are catching up to this bat structure. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. This is really, really, really random, but you know how on YouTube, when it first came out, they're like 2 clicks and you can watch a couple of giraffes slapping necks. You just never know. Yeah. You never know what you can find on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah.
So I was watching something else and I saw this video about JJ Weatherholt going to, I think he went to Mariucci. I think that's the name of the company. Anyway, they're bat makers. And I watched like this 7-minute video of them like making a custom bat for him. Like he walked in there and they had like all this stuff. He was plugged in all these things and they were
Build-A-Bear for MLB players.
And I sat there and I watched him like, first, why am I watching this?
Yeah.
But at that point it was already done. Right. And I was like, that was actually fascinating. There's so much that goes behind in doing this. Like you would just not even believe the complexity behind all of these things. It's really impressive. So
Just to do that rabbit trail a little bit further, is one of the helmet manufacturers for the NFL and the MLB are located in the town that I live in, and I've been in there and gone through. One of the guys works R&D for that company, and I was able to go back there and shoot some baseballs at a couple of helmets and look at all the stuff that they're looking at. It is quite a bit of math, quite a bit of nerdage, but very interesting.
Well, I could tell you if they're making Donnie's helmet there, they got that buddy oiled up when it comes out the door.
Perfect. General ride.
That's right. Okay. All right. So I want to get to just a few of our don't likes this week. There's not as many. I mean, we were riding pretty high on them. We've kind of talked about the pitching, but let's just talk about Willie for like a minute here. Willie looks like he is trying so hard out there.
Yeah.
He cannot find success. He had a really, really important double in the Angels series. It looked like he was going to start, maybe eking out of this a bit. And we get to Boston today, and he looked really helpless today. Matt, what have you been seeing with Willie at the plate? Anything that I haven't described there?
It's just the pressing. I think Willie is maybe not quite getting the memo that there's a time to slug and a time for contact. I think Willie thinks that every time he touches a bat, it's time to slug right now.
Yeah.
And I think some of this is psychological. When you go through an 0 for 20 in the middle of the season, you've got a batting average, you've got home runs, you've got RBIs. You've got numbers behind you. Right now, he had no numbers at all, and his numbers are like 0.33 or whatever it is. But my professional podcast opinion about Willson Contreras is the guy's going to hit. He's going to be fine. He has hit for his entire major league career, and at the end of the year, when all this is said and done, he's going to be one of the best hitters on our team. I do think he needs to take a step back, not press so hard, and just try for some contact, because the guy is a Mack truck at this point, and it's gonna fly when he hits the ball. I'm not too concerned about Willie.
No, it just is unfortunate. Something that I brought up a couple of times to the guys is everything that Newt is, and the feeling that Newt is bringing to the top of the lineup currently. And again, it'll change 1,000 times over the course of the season. But currently, between Mason, when he's sandwiched between Mason Wynn and Willie, he is surrounded by like two kind of consistent outs. And unfortunately, they're like strikeout outs. It's not like contact outs. So Newt's productivity a little bit. I mean, obviously to start a game, it's not affecting the quote unquote 2 outs aren't affecting him. But when the 9-hole and the 2-hole are consistent outs around the 1, that's kind of rough.
It is rough. And we scored 7 runs a game with it being rough. So that just speaks to how wonderful this has been to start the year. That we're kind of muting some of Newt's goodness by having, Wynn and Willie start the season off so poorly.
Yeah, it's crazy. As you guys are talking, I'm thinking like Willie and Wynn last year. Now, Willie was hurt some, but they were largely 2 of our better hitters. In the top 3, I would say, the entire year, Wynn and Willie. They have done absolutely nothing, and we've just been rattling off and raving and ranting about the offense. It's just, that is baseball for you. It's so random.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll be okay. I always remember thinking and saying, when Arenado and Goldie, we would always say like, oh, if we could just ever get them going at the same time.
I know.
If we could ever get them going at the same time. But if you're going to have like 7 or 8 above average major league hitters in your lineup, here's the thing. Some of those guys are always going to be going at the same time. I think those are the building blocks of a more consistent offense. And we are 7 games in. And so I'm not making any huge pronouncement here, but I think we're peaking at a more consistent approach in offense because the guys are performing with this new approach.
Right. Exactly. Like these two, Mason Wynn and Willson Contreras, they're not going to always be performing like this. And so as they're coming up, you might have 2 that are coming down, and it kind of offsets it. So that's what you're kind of saying, right? Like as some guys fall off, some other guys are going to, get the slack and take it from them.
I can't wait though, Andy, for you to watch Willie like pop off for 2 weeks. Because when he starts making contact, like he is also just such a, like he's so Wilson, like Contreras, you know what I mean? Like he like in your face and like bat flipping walks, and like he's just so aggressive and so competitive.
So a little Victor Scott II swag.
Oh yeah. He'll overtake because Willie's just that kind of guy. So it's really, really fun to watch when he's raking like that. Plus now with this extra weight he's added on, Like I kind of want to see what happens when he swings and he doesn't feel the ball hit the bat. You know, like
Yeah.
how far is it going to go?
Is it
Right?
like a little Big Poppy action here?
Well, let's hope, right? Let's
Willie
hope.
does have swag for sure, but when Vic hit that double and he slid into second base and popped up doing the Flappy Bird
Yeah,
as
that
he
was
was
nasty.
coming up, I was like, I almost got knocked off my couch. That was unbelievable amounts of swag.
He embodies it too. I also love, just as a spectacle wearer myself. He is wearing like these like kind of see through red tint glasses at night too. I don't know why he's wearing them. Like maybe it's like to shield the bright lights and maybe like keep it all the same. You know how some like running backs in the NFL will wear those tinted visors?
Yeah.
See, I think that stuff looks sick. Like I'm so down with that.
When you can run like a cheetah, you just wear what you want.
I can't argue. I can't argue with that. All right, so we've talked about really highly about our buddy Ivan the Great here, but we're going to talk about his defense for just a second here. And I don't think we're going to try to do this all year, but man, the guy is really trying to be better at it, but he is just still really struggling with throwing guys out. I think his framing is getting a bit better, and maybe his blocking.
They're talking about that, how much work he's doing, and that they're seeing improvement on that. I also read that they changed his throwing motion.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to just throw from a knee. All we really need him to do is we just need him to be like league average, maybe a little bit less than league average and throwing guys out, because I think the framing's good. They're talking about him calling pitches and him game planning, but these lollipops down to second base, he directly cost us a run today. There was a walk. The guy took second base. There was a single. That was a run. Now, granted, he hit a 3-run home run, but if we can just get it closer to league average with this throwing, we're onto something with Ivan.
Yeah.
And I'm cool too. Like this year is the year to test all of that, right? Let's just remember. Let's remember here. If it's really bad for 2 straight months, it might need to be really bad for 3 straight months. You know, we need to see if he can continue, if he does get better with this, right? I mean,
he might hit 35 home runs, guys.
I know.
We're just gonna have to let some stolen bases happen. This is what this is for. Yeah,
exactly. So, Andy, I wanted to talk to you, or aim this one specifically at you, because you said something last pod about when you were listening to the Twins broadcast. They said Sonny was more of like a 2 rotation guy through the lineup. Like when you get to the 6th inning or so, that 3rd rotation through an opposing team's lineup, they see what he has and he's maybe not effective. Yep. I have been noticing, obviously in spring training, you know, he gave up a ton of home runs. Well, that's spring. We don't really know that we care about that. But Trout hit a tater off of him. Logan O'Hoppe hit a big tater off of him, a grand slam. Andy, what do you think about Sonny's home run bug? Do you think this is real? Do you think this is going to be a real problem all year?
Definitely has the potential. If other teams' broadcasters have that as a bullet point of your pitcher, of our ace, right? Then yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm sure that the Cardinals pitching staff knows about, and I'm sure they're talking about and addressing it, but it is a bit concerning for sure for that to be happening and for other teams to know it about you.
Yeah, I his pitches they're giving up home runs. I mean, Trout hit a home run off of him, and it was a good pitch. It's just Mike Trout. Right. Which, side note, I also was kind of happy to see, not against us, but like I want Mike Trout to be good. It's fun when guys are really good, and he's like a once in a lifetime kind of guy.
I'm just sad. We've missed his whole career.
I know.
His whole career. He's been out in the LA dungeons out there, never on TV, at least in the areas that we live in. It's really sad.
So I got to see that home run swing, and I was like, well, you know what? That's kind of cool, right? Like cool. I like seeing that. Yeah. But the one to
Sonny's
O'Hoppe
still got it.
Great.
Sonny still got it though. He's got 9 Ks, 0 walks in the game where he gave up the grand slam and the extra home run. I think he's just the velocity's down a little bit, and I think that gives you a better margin for error. Where if you miss your spot, but your pitch has higher velocity, guys have trouble squaring that up, and I think his velocity's down. So we may still see these games where he has innings where he looks very good, and then he misses a spot, and a guy takes him deep because he's 35 years old. Like this is what happens as you age.
Well, there are loads of metrics and numbers behind when the velocity drops. Exactly what you're saying is going to happen, and that was a 92-mile-an-hour sinker about chest high, and he just tattooed it. Right? Yeah. If that sinker's 95, maybe he fouls it off or gets underneath it. Right? It's just harder to time out.
Pro hitters are not going to miss that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right.
I don't think we've ever officially talked about this on the pod, but how do you guys feel about the extra innings Manfred runner on second base. Matt, I'll start with you. What do you think about that? We've had that 2 times this week, right? What do you think about it?
In general, I hate extra innings. I just assume that the Cardinals will lose when we go to extra innings. So I'm split on this. I don't mind the Manfred runner in that I would like for this game to be over because I hate extra innings. But here's what I don't like about it. I don't like when you're the home team and you go into extras because you are almost always going to be under additional pressure because the visiting team is probably going to score.
Yeah.
So it turns you from the home field is supposed to be your advantage to it. To me, it turns it into a disadvantage. And so, again, I'm split on this. It doesn't really feel like baseball, but I hate when games go 14 or 15 innings because I'm constantly worried. Do we have enough pitchers? What happens to the bullpen the next day? I think it stacks up problems for teams. So I hate extra innings. I don't love this runner, but I want the game. I don't know. I'm so split on this.
Matt wants the draws from hockey to come into play. I think that's
what I thought about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that. I know that's insane, but I really would not hate that.
I mean, I could get behind that.
I agree with that. That was what I was going to suggest, Andy, was the tie. Like in hockey, how they basically, if in hockey, if you win, you get 2 points.
Right.
If you lose, you get none. And if you tie, it's 1.
At least 1 point. And if you win the game, you get 2. Right.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it saves because what they're saying is, oh, well, the Manfred runner, which is, Rob Manfred's the commissioner of baseball. He's the one who, they implemented this rule under him. That's why we call it the Manfred runner. But it's going to save your bullpen. That's ultimately what we're doing, right? We don't need these games to be 7 hours long in the 21st inning, right? That stuff's crazy. Yep. But if you're taking that, line of thinking, why not take it even further and save them the 10th inning? Why do we care, right? Why don't we just end it at 9? I mean, I think people would protest that, right? But I think I like that. That's what I would do.
Yep. I could get behind that for sure.
Yeah. Matt, I think you put on our list here. You put radio broadcasts. What's your beef? Tell me.
This will probably get us some haters, but Rooney and oh my gosh, the name Ricky Horton. Yes, sorry, the name slipped my mind for a second. They're doing the same job. They're both doing play-by-play and color, kind of, and I don't understand it. Like what should be happening is Rooney's the play-by-play guy and Ricky Horton, as a former player, is doing color. But I flip on the radio on the way home from school, listening to the game until I get home. And here's Ricky Horton like calling the balls and strikes. And I'm not saying he's terrible at it, but then I hear John Rooney come in, and I'm like, well, who is doing what on this broadcast right now? I just don't understand it. And to me, Ricky Horton's shtick gets really old really fast, and I don't really like it that much. And so this is just like a personal thing, but I really don't like the Cardinals radio broadcast right now.
So I've noticed that they take turns doing it, like 3 innings, Rooney.
I think this is like the Mike Shannon rule. Mike had to go get a couple cold frosty ones. So you were just in there by yourself. But like, am I insane? Do 2 separate jobs. This is what we're used to in broadcasting. Give me what I'm used to.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do the color side of it in the radio because you have to describe everything. Yeah. Right. So you have to talk a bunch where like on the broadcast, they'll go like a little bit of time at segments at a time, not speaking at all. And the color guy can say whatever he wants because you're visually watching it. You don't need Chip to guide you through everything. That's why I think it's hard to do that on radio. But I'm with you with the 1 person. I think 2 gets a little cramped up there. Now, Chip's son did it. I don't know if you guys heard in spring training. Did you hear any of his son doing it?
I did not know.
Chip's got 2 sons. One of them is the play-by-play for the Oakland, Oakland, for the A's, for the Sacramento A's. Okay. His other son was doing some spring training games on the radio for the Cardinals. And it's kind of crazy because he sounds exactly like Chip, but he was really good. He was doing it by himself. It was really solid. So I'd take him, but.
Well, it is not, again, sorry to Cardinals Nation, but I'm not enjoying it. That's not the product that I want. It feels weird to me. They're kind of talking over each other. They switch hitters back. I don't like it. I don't like the vibe. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Hire Kevin Harlan.
Oh, man.
Did you hear him and his back-to-back off topic, but did you hear him with I think there were 4 plays right in a row between the Warriors and the Lakers hitting threes at the end of the game. And, his iconic 3 calling, and Reggie Miller was like, "Are you tired of saying that?" And he's like, "No."
So if normal blood pressure is 120/80, that guy is doing 20/180 in those moments for sure.
It is nuts to me, though, not to go down into this too far, how a good play-by-play guy really does impact your experience.
Mike Tirico changes everything that man calls. I'm like, I'm in it. I'm here for this.
When I hear Joe Buck speaking, it doesn't matter what he's doing. I immediately think of October in St. Louis baseball. Every single time, I just associate his voice to the World Series.
Yep.
It's a great time. All right. What do you say we highlight a few things to watch this week, towards the end of the week, and then going into next week? First and foremost, Mr. Brownie, Brant, Guru Brown here. Do we think his approach is going to continue?
We hope so. Let's see it. It's got it. Yeah.
That's the hope. I think that is the number one question for this team right now.
It's fun to watch.
Can they continue this rabid pack of dog approach against pitchers? I love it. It's wonderful. I don't know if we'll keep doing it.
Yep. I agree. We're on our first road trip in Boston, right? Got kind of smacked around today from a pitching side, but we came back offensively. What are we going to do, right? Is this fight going to live on? First game, it sure did. Let's see if it continues to live on in the next two games and then off to Pittsburgh, right? We'll see that. And then in Pittsburgh, we get to see our friend, well, he's not really our friend, Paul Skeens.
He can be our friend.
He can be our friend. That's true. That's going to be an interesting one. So if you guys, if you don't catch any games in Boston or in Pittsburgh, or you only can get one, I think he's going to be on Tuesday.
Yep.
He's probably the best pitcher in baseball, and he's on the Pirates. And we're gonna see how this Brant Brown approach is gonna fare against Paul Skeens.
Yeah,
I'd like to go 500 on the road and win 2 out of every 3 games at home. I think that's great. And so if we've got 6 games here against the Red Sox and the Pirates, if we come home 3-3, I am perfectly fine with that.
I think that's a great thing to shoot for, and I think even nearer term, if we get out of Boston 1-2, I'm okay with that because Pittsburgh is a lesser opponent. They are. Let's hope we can take care of business there. Last thing I have for us to watch for is just keep an eye on Wynn and Willie, right? This next couple games. Wynn looks like he's starting to break out just a little bit. He's been making more solid contact. I know we've talked about Willie a little bit throughout this, but watch their at-bats. See if they continue to maybe come out of it. Watch Willie. Does it look like he's pressing too hard? You know, what does that even mean, pressing, right? Is he swinging out of his shoes? Does it look like it's just coming at him too fast? Those are just kind of games within the games to watch if you get a chance as you're going through. Any final thoughts from you, fellas?
No, I think, I think it's pretty exciting to watch what the product currently is more exciting than what we thought going into the season. Yes?
Correct.
100% yes.
If we're going to be 500 and we're going to be driven to wins by our offense instead of our pitching, I think I'll like watching that more, even if the result ends up being the same. I agree. Let's keep the vibes going on offense, baby.
Bang. That was my play-by-play. That was my Mike Breen for you.
As long as it's not Ricky Horton, thanks.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that's it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Redbird Rundown, your go-to source for all things St. Louis Cardinals news. Be sure to subscribe, rate, review the show to help us grow. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Facebook for the latest news. And keep your rally caps on, and let's go Cards.
Thank you, AT&T.
Lightning strike.
Yeah.